be fair, you do see some crazy stuff though. You do see some crazy stuff. I always find something that interests me on a daily, most days, to be fair.
It's just every day is different. You don't know what you're gonna learn, you don't know who you're gonna meet. And for me, I think that's exciting.
I don't know if other houses are like this, but we would like come home and be like, oh, guess what I saw today? Like, it's quite exciting.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it. I love it. You get out there, you know you're gonna see patients, you know you're gonna probably do stuff like take bloods, chat to patients, talk to doctors, and you know that you're going to learn something every day. And you know that you're always going to have something to talk about when you get home. When someone says, how was your day? You won't say,
it's not going to be boring, is it?
Exactly, you always know.
It's like just experiences, like medicine's so interesting, man. Like you go in and you just like, oh, like I've got surgery, and then you go in and you're seeing like mad stuff, you're just like, whoa, that's what's good about it. So you just see such a variety, meet loads of different professionals, like some really funny people, funny surgeons, like I don't know.
You meet some like incredible people.
Yeah.
Either the patients, doctors, nurses, they're just some like people who've done so much that you wouldn't have met otherwise, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you just realise how incredible some people are. So I think meeting those kinds of people is
inspiring. It's really inspiring, isn't it? Yeah.
Even like the phlebotomist on like one of the wards, like, she was so nice, and I'll remember her forever. Like, and like now I can do venipuncture really well just because I met her. So you meet loads of range of different people. Even the patients can be really interesting.
And the best bits I'd say is the patients, really. They are your learning ultimately, and some of the stories that some of them have got to tell, they definitely do melt your heart at times.
Chatting to patients,
and that. Oh, hearing their stories.
Yeah, I love
Give them their time, like let them speak, like especially the older patients. They've got they've lived their whole lives, like they've got so much to like teach you and tell you about, and it like really makes their day. And like if you genuinely like give them your time, like they'll definitely allow you to like do the examination that you might want to get done, and they'll like willingly give you a lot more like personal information away, which really makes a difference to like giving a history and presenting it after.
I love a good placement history gossip.
Just being someone for the patients to talk to, you know, for 5 minutes or, you know, an hour in some cases, it really does make a difference to the day. So yeah, I'd say that is ultimately the best bit of placement.
And one of the best things I think is when a doctor or nurse or healthcare professional takes you under their wing and treats you like a proper member of the team. I think that's one of the best feelings, because you really feel valued and you actually enjoy your placement. Some doctors and clinics have literally taken the time out of their clinics just to talk through patients, explain patients.
There's always usually a nice F1 who kind of takes you under their wing, and then that's one of the best things, is when someone takes you under their wing and you just follow them around all day. And
Love
like
that.
strutting around the hospital like, oh, I'm being so important and useful.
And you have to follow them around and you have to walk so fast to keep up with them.
Yeah, no, when do doctors learn to walk so fast, I think?
When you graduate.
Yeah, you definitely need to find usually a junior doctor. They'll want to sign things off because people are so busy, it's hard to expect them to have time for you all the time, but they do the best that they can.
They do, yeah. It's getting that initial courage to be like, can I present this to you? And like, I don't think I've ever actually had anybody say no. They'll always just be like, oh yeah, give me 10 minutes, and then it's finding them again in 10 minutes, but maybe I've outright turned you down. But yeah, when you, well, not yet.
What's your favourite theatre session then, like?
Probably, it was probably an orthopaedic one. It was a hip replacement. Got to scrub in, and it was gruesome. Like, hammers, like, you know, it's like something out of the movie Saw. It's pretty gruesome, but the end result was incredible.
Very mechanical, like this. I mean, you hear about everyone thinking like orthopods are their own little thing, but it is very like carpentry, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to be good at it, innit? Another mad thing was this woman, she cut her hands, and literally she cut it all the way to the bones, and you could see like the ligaments and tendons snapped, and you could see both ends of it. And they'd get a tweezer and they'd pull it, and the fingers would like bend, but they spent about 5 hours stitching it back together.
Really?
Yeah, and she was good to go the next day. It was pretty incredible, so see some mad stuff.
Yeah, we all do our neurology placement at the Walton Centre. It's like a world leading centre for like, neurology and that. Weirdly slapped in Liverpool. But yeah, some of the surgeries they do, like crazy stuff, and like watching brain surgery and blew my mind, mate. I literally, they were like, you see stuff like that on TV, and then to be stood in the room, like, it's such a privilege, isn't it? Yeah. That's what I like. Some of the surgeries you see will blow your mind for sure.
I also really like when anybody gives me a job to do, any job, like run these bloods to the lab. Yep, I can do that. Like any small job.
Yeah. Anything still
do
useful.
Yeah, just being involved with the team, that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's what we're getting at really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether you're involved with the team or not. And that's where 5th year is so nice, because we spend 8 weeks on one placement and you really are part of the team.
Yeah.
Like on the ward, you're just kind of treated as an F1. The consultants treat you like that. The F1s kind of treat you as colleagues, and it is nice.
I saw one head and neck, mate, Aintree. Oh mate, Aintree do high rates of like head and neck cancer in Liverpool.
Yeah.
So in Aintree they've got big head and neck cancer operating theatres. Just some of the stuff they do, mate, it literally blew my mind. Like I saw an operation where they rebuilt this guy's jaw with his fibula.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the bones in your legs. So like basically just removed his jaw and then took his fibula out and reconstructed it. Jeez. But like the whole process is like from 9 in the morning till like 6 at night. Yeah. And the patient like
really out of it. Yeah.
The head is like from the neck down pulled up, and you can see everything, mate.
The reasons why I like placement are because you get to see your friends and you like form a little group, and it's really nice, and you go on the wards and clinics with them. Literally just meeting people in your year that you haven't yet encountered. I think that's really fun. Like I love just like meeting new people, because I get bored of hanging around with the same people all the time.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think it's just really good just to sort of like, even for yourself, just building up your social skills.
You can't get through the 5 years without having good students alongside you. When something bad happens on the ward, or when someone's mean to you, you come back at like lunchtime and you reflect and you talk about it, and everyone has similar experiences, and realising that really makes you understand that we're all in this together.
Placement friends, they're just really fun because it's a group of people you wouldn't put together, but when you're put all together, it's just a fun time. We actually see some of the F1s and F2s out, like at clubs and stuff, so you make friends with them quite a lot, because the older you get, there's actually not that much like in terms of years between yourselves. So like a 4th year can be the same age as someone that's a doctor who's F1, so it's quite fun.
Hospital group, especially if you've got a small tight-knit hospital group, it's brilliant.
It's so fun, and obviously all the experience is just so invaluable.
You make friends outside your friendship group in your year, which is brilliant. Everyone ends up being friends with almost everyone, don't they?
Best bits are just seeing something that you've read in a textbook and you're just like, oh my god, that's it. Just making that connection with what you've read about and what you actually see, and it confirms that what you're learning about is some people's real lived experience.
Such a nerd.
No, that's true though. When I see like rare conditions or like really textbook conditions, I'm just like, amazing.
I guess you're putting your learning into actual practice, so you're actually getting to see real patients with real diseases, and I guess it just puts things into reality, and it's like what I've been waiting for so long, and I finally get to do it, so it's nice.
So I didn't quite believe that psychiatric conditions would be as textbook as they are, and you go in and they're just like, it's literally that, you're like, oh my gosh, that is literally exactly how the textbook presents it. And it's quite hard, if you've not really come across some of the things, to like see exactly how patients can be with some of these conditions. I think that's really interesting.
In terms of like the doctors and the consultants and the surgeons, like you'll get to meet so many different personalities, and some experiences might be bad, some experiences will be really good, but it'll be like, it's also very inspiring, because then the ones that you do like, you can be like, oh, I will be her or him one day. And I do like that, because some people, some of the healthcare professionals are so inspiring, even the nurses, like they are, the amount of work they do, and it's just like a lot of time you do spend with nurses as well, and that's what I like as well. Like you're not always just with the doctors, and you get to see it from their point of view a little bit. And honestly, the nurses are the ones that are going to help you. Like if you have any questions, it's best to ask them, because they're the nicest. Yeah.
My one tip for hospital placement is make sure you got some comfy shoes, because you'll be standing up quite a lot.
My one tip for the hospital placement would be to just get involved as much as you can. Whatever is out there, just give it a go. Even if, you know, you might not have liked the sound of it or you might have never heard of it before, just give it a go because you might be pleasantly surprised. So yeah, just give it a go.
My one tip for medical placement would be always accept the cup of tea that the people they offer you, for sure. You'll regret it an hour later if you don't.
Think about what you want to learn with the placement, and when you're on the wards, say to people, I'm interested in learning about this, can you help me do that?
Yeah, I'd agree. Show up with a clear set of goals of what you want to get out of the placement and yeah, make the staff aware of them.
I think ask a lot of questions. You have to be really, really proactive and don't take it personally if you're told the doctor's too busy or they're doing something. Choose the right time to, if you see something important going on, don't interrupt them to ask a daft question, just let it happen. Yeah, just be really proactive and make the most of everything.
I think it's easy to become a bit of a recluse on placement if you're a bit nervous, you don't want to go up to the wards and you sit in the common room. I mean, we're all guilty of it, like I do it sometimes. But I think you get out of placement what you put into it. So if you are going to things and seeing things, doctors recognise you more, so they take you to more opportunities and things like that.
I would also say, to help, a tip to like get involved with the team, something that I've tried to do this year is introduce myself to either a doctor that's around or the nurse that's in charge and say who you are, how long you're there for, what you're able to do and happy to get involved with. So quick spiel, I'd say, hi, I'm Maddie, I'm one of the 5th years, I'm on my A&E placement. And if you need anything, any bloods, any little jobs doing, anything that you don't want to do, I'm happy to do it. And then I think that you've got them on your side and they will know you're there, they understand what you can do and what you can't, and it's quite a good starting point.
That's a good tip, that is.
My one tip for hospital placement would probably be get in with the junior F1s, like those. They're the ones that are going to help you loads. These are usually the F1s or the F2s. They've literally been in your position like a few months ago, a lot of them. Just get them from this first day that you go on, hi, I'm medical student, hi, like, I'm going to be on the ward for a little bit, and sometimes they can be really, really nice and bring you in for stuff. They're like, oh yeah, there's like medical student, come with me, and things like that, and you see things that you might not have seen if you just stood in the corner and didn't ask anything. So definitely get in with the junior doctors.
Get a bit more confident. Get more confident with your clinical skills. Just practicing there makes OSCEs so much easier when you've done it like a million times before. Not that I ever did anything like a million times before. I mean, sometimes you have a really good day. You get an answer right in a ward round, or you've got your cannula and you've never got a cannula before, and you just feel really good about yourself, or somebody like compliments you and says,
it literally makes your day.
Yeah, and like, oh, you've got a really nice bedside manner, or just something little like that.
Yeah.
And you just come home, you're buzzing, you're like, oh, I love medicine. But they're sort of, I think that's important to have your down days as well, because it's you're gonna get loads of them on the job, and it's just important to like have your friends around and to sort of support you and say, oh, you know, I've done the same or worse. But I think it's just generally good just to sort of, you know, get a good taster of what it's gonna be like.
The best bits about placement, I would say, in a nutshell, is seeing more than you'd ever see.
And getting involved in things that you'd never think you'd get involved in.
Exactly.
Feeling part of the team.
Yeah.